Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back! It's the final cast that we have left to do for Gauntlet A. And of course, I say we because Neblime is here with me too. What's up, dude?
What's up, dude? There's two of us now. When will there be three of us?
That's right. Three, the magic number. We'll find out who else wants to join the caster crew. So, jakulangski versus Tacocake. ZVZ yet again. Obviously, very much an echo of the Art of Turtle series, but we talked a little bit about this. Full disclosure, we did actually start to cast this set, and then we had some replay kerfluffles that we had to sort out. So now we're back. But that means that we're going to retread a little bit of ground for us. So don't be surprised if we sound slightly more well-spoken because we've fully thought out our thoughts. However, going back over this old ground, I will say Art of Turtle, obviously, nice performance versus Jack. Definitely looked a little shaky in some ways, I think exploitable, but he's the kind of player who I think will just power up to his Brood War level or something around there in Cosmonarchy, and I feel like that's pretty much inevitable. So Jack doing very well to take him to 5 games. However, wasn't enough, doesn't get it across the finish line. That does put him as decidedly the favorite in the series versus Tacocake, who is a little bit newer to the game. They did play a 1v1 that I casted on the channel a while back. That was a really bloody ZVZ. So they have some experience with each other's styles and stuff, and Tacocake didn't win that one, but took it very close. So that's another thing that might bode well for him and his chances in this series. But it's a best of 5, and that means that it's really unlikely that he can, run off to a screaming start and just win based on momentum or anything. It's not like he can 2-0 cheeky or whatever, or even like 2-1, right? He's got to win 3 games. And based on that, what are your predictions for this series? How do you rate these players in the ZVZ matchup?
Yeah, I have to say I agree with you when you look at the bracket and how it went so far, right? We had Jack come in 2-0 Alexander, which, Alexander is not that threatening, so you can't say that much from that, but hey, he proved that he's not going to lose to Alexander.
Yep.
And 2-1's Biddy B, okay, Biddy B's pretty formidable. He has a lot of tricks up his sleeve, but then he goes this really close series of AT, right? And AT obviously proved that he's pretty good and can qualify, so jakulangski showed some pretty good results from his side of the bracket, but Tacocake, on the other hand, went down 2-0 to Art of Turtle, and so it went straight to the lower bracket, 2-0 Moon Hunter, 2-1 Dead Infested. And look, no shade on Dead Infested, but I got to say, if you're losing games to Dead Infested, it does not bode well for your ability to go far in this tournament.
Fair enough.
And then 2-1 to Benno, which again, Benno has not had a great showing this gauntlet. So I have concerns for Tacocake. Now, you mentioned he's a bit newer than Jack, but Jack hasn't been around for that long, and Tacocake does practice a fair bit. He's definitely getting in there. So look, he has a chance, but this is kind of like what I was saying with Mute vs. 3-Crow. I feel like Tacocake has to come in here and prove to me what he can do.
Okay.
That's what I want to see.
Okay.
Because I predict jakulangski 3-0, actually.
Wow, okay. All right.
We'll see.
We'll see what happens. Okay. Well, we do have to get into the veto here, and I guess that's as good a time as any for us to get into the first map, which is Impetus. And we usually talk about the veto along that first round, so are you ready to get started?
I am definitely ready.
All right, let's see what happens here. jakulangski in the bottom left of Impetus, Tacocake top right. Now, as a reminder, Tacocake was the lowest seeded player in the whole tournament because he was brand new and I had no games to go off of. And that's always the guys who I say, you must have the strongest task, the toughest fight. God gives his best soldiers the worst offerings just so that he can see, what is your, how faithful are you, sir? How faithful are you? And so Tacocake comes in here and he bans Axiom. What do you make of that?
Yeah, straight up bans Axiom. The best map in the game. The best map for CMBW that ever was made or ever will be made. I can't believe this. I'm personally offended. But look, Axiom is a fairly defensive map, fairly standard map. There's nothing crazy about it. It's fairly easy to sort of zone your opponent's army. So it tends towards longer games sometimes, but it's also not super turtly. So it's not like, say, Infinite Velocity, where you're just kind of guaranteed to get to tier 3. It's a very sort of standard map. If you have crazy plans, good pick to ban it. So then we had Jack ban Titanforge, which, I'm a fan of because I think if Jack agrees with me that he's favored here, you want to ban Titanforge because it's a little bit wacky with how it works out. It's very much dependent on taking certain locations on the map. It's vertical, so you have like all sorts of airplay. So I like that choice. And then we had the second ban was Impetus. Oh, no, that's the starter I'm looking at. Picked Impetus, sorry. Oh, we said this in the wrong order, right? Because we started talking about Tacocake's ban, but it was jakulangski's ban first.
Yeah, technically. I just wanted to bring up that he banned Axiom, right? So,
right.
Yeah. So technically it was Titanforge first, and then it was banned by Tacocake, who only had one ban, being the lower seed.
And then jakulangski banned Sideshow, and I've already complained about this in the AOT series, I believe. So why would you... Oh, he's doing it again. Oh, again, I think this is an overreaction, right? I don't think you should pull more than one Troll F against that. And look, he's still chasing him, or he goes for it again. I actually love it. I think this is a really good play here, because he's seen actually to talk about the actual game instead of the picks and pans.
Sure. Yeah.
jakulangski going for the 10 hatch on low ground. Now, I think this is a slight gamble. If your opponent goes for like a 6-7 pool, it's just a straight loss, in my opinion. But if your opponent's going for your base hatch, like Tacocake did, it's just a straight advantage to have your hatch ross on low ground because you have a creep spread for Circuit, and also you have more mining if you need it later without getting more hatch ross. So I think it's a really good play by jakulangski, just eking out the most possible advantage you can. Now, the shoe's on the other foot, but the Quasar pool unit's going to come out and deal with this pretty easily, I think.
Yeah,
because it's not that bad against buildings.
No, and particularly the Kagrant, which doesn't actually have that much armor, right? I mean, it has 2, but you've got the 1 armor pen, right? So you're not really that worried about it. All right, so that Kagrant will fall.
Do we still go by Brood War mechanics, where if you do 0 damage, you do 0.5?
No, it's minimum damage 1 always.
Okay.
So it's like it's technically a buff.
The same then for Quasilisks? Oh no, they have 1 armor.
They have 1 armor pen.
Yeah,
so
that's right.
Good.
All right. So will he put down the Circuit? I mean, you don't have to necessarily just play Turtle here just because you're on the low ground. You could just be making more and more Quasilisks still. It looks like they're going to sort of move into the middle of the map. This happens a lot in CVZ. We're just like, okay, here we go. Ooh, not the best engage for jakulangski. Nice micro by Tacocake. Both of them don't really want to do it.
Yeah, I know. They're both a little cautious. They have the burrow move.
Oh, they both burrow. I mean, you got to get that regen. I think it's a play for sure.
Yeah.
See, I don't like this Kagrant. I think I might have complained about this in another series. If you're putting defense on your ramp when your opponent's already at their natural, usually you're not looking too good here. And I feel like Tacocake not really with the best grasp on the situation, what he needs to accomplish here. jakulangski is getting a Circuit as his own. But he's making more Quasilisks as well, or not anymore. He hatched a couple more, but he's making draw left now. I think it makes sense if you get the Circuit, you're just drawing up hard. Now let's see what happens in this fight.
Yeah, we're a little bit curious as to what's going down next, but obviously we can see who has more Quasis in this little fight there. So they will do their defeat dance and retreat. One of the things I did want to comment on earlier. Yeah, the thing that I was very curious about is how much that early Droleth pull onto the Kagrant would be a punish. And Taco actually didn't have enough money to spend on his like initial 4 or 5 pairs of Quasis that it looked like he wanted to at the very start of the game. So this is a little bit awkward then in that situation, right? You don't necessarily want to be caught slipping, right? But the Circuit is going to get a little bit of damage, yeah. Hold up.
How to dodge, he's still going in.
I know, yeah.
He's gonna lose all those.
Yeah, overwhelming majority force here for our Tacocake homie. He's going to be able to charge on down. He has made a few more Quasilisks already, though, so as long as he keeps making them, I say, as he queues up 2 draw lefts. He should be able to defend with his Circuit, though. I don't think he's going to die. It is a bit of a menacing force, though. The drone pool may be required, and the Cthulhu's will chew through them really fast. About the early Drolef pools, yeah, I think you are right, because you got to remember when you take the Hatchross on low ground, you're actually going to have less Drolef for a minute because you have to spend the extra money going down there. But he's still ahead now. But he did make less calls. He needs to get back by his defenses. This is a very fast game. This is very puzzling. He had all of his early Quasis there way far past the Circuit, and now you can just step right past this if you want to. Now, this is a situation where, honestly, this looks really bad for Taco's forces, actually. He is going to try to step forward and just try to snipe out the hostile Quasis, and actually he might be okay on that front and get in front with just like 1 or 2 Quasis onto the worker line, but it's not going to be enough since there were more hatched as a result.
Yeah, absolute disaster there for Tacocake, unfortunately. It was a really good angle for jakulangski as well, actually, to be back into the left there through that narrow spot. But he's still sending him out, though. Jack needs to just hide, man, because Tacocake has a plan, and his plan is Quas pool units, but what's this? He's made an Aphroc Lake, and he's making the Nefracores.
So he's one of the few players that actually goes for the winged Zergling, as it's sometimes called, the Nathracor. Obviously, each one of those is actually 2, and each pair. Yeah, each pair is 50 gas, so that's quite the investment. We do have a bunch of Hydras coming, but honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if this den gets sniped or something like that. Obviously, you could just burrow the workers so that they can't do much economic damage, but
I think it's fine if you run in and sort of like kill a Drolo, force the others to burrow and fly away. I think that's worth. As long as you're not losing the Nefracor, just having them to menace is actually worth a lot, because if your opponent's making a couple spray for keeping units back, that is value there.
The other thing to point out is the Larvosk is 125 gas, and that could easily be sniped by the 6 Nats. So
that is a good point, actually. That would be a huge loss. Oh, he's going to come out here at probably the worst possible time, because the Nefracors are
there's so many of them. Yeah, there's so many of them. So the Quasis will indeed get pushed back. And look at this, Tacocake doing a brilliant maneuver where he's pulling his Quasis away, and that is allowing Jack to get completely bamboozled by the Nats. This is what happens when you don't scout your opponent. There's no reaction. The workers are just getting massacred. There's no burrow here at all.
Absolute disaster. This shows how far ahead he was. He's only 7 behind, 8 behind. It's still,
I know,
they can draw left. Can he make them faster than Nefracles can eat them? I don't think so, but he's going for the kill. It doesn't matter if he just goes and busts him immediately, and he has a lot of forces coming up. Tacocake only making Qualification behind this. It doesn't have anything else to make. It's going to be hard to finger to his Hydralisk, but the Nefracles are not done. They're going down to kill the rest. jakulangski needs to keep some workers alive. Okay, I think he just burrowed. I didn't see. Yeah, he did. Okay.
Well, listen, the attack's been canceled. The Ovolith came over and saw all these Kagrants, and I guess he didn't want to go for it. Or did it even see the Kagrants? I think if he sees only Kagrants here, he probably does pull the trigger there, but instead second guesses himself, and now I feel like he's kind of caught in between a rock and a hard place. Technically, he's got one worker up, but... You know,
the game will go on because he does have a superior composition here with Hydralisks, but he needs to respect these Nefracores and not just leave again. Oh my gosh, this is very ballsy because Tacocake could run in and do the critical damage now.
Listen, you can pick off these Hydras. Like, I don't care what anybody says about the Nats. Obviously, they haven't had their time in the sun for a while now, but what, 8 Hydras are going to beat, what, is this like 16 Nats or something? 18 Nats? There's no way.
Why you could just aim when he's got like 5 circuits at home? Why even do that? Don't just go kill him. I don't know what Jack's thinking here. He's just sending his army across to get murdered. And his base will also get murdered. One Sprafe will not do anything.
It's not even going to finish.
Instantly die.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think this is GG. I think Tacocake has it. Yeah.
Yeah. I think. Unfortunately for Jack here, well, okay, he's got some quasis here, but I really don't think that's going to be enough. You have got enough Nats here. You can just throw it at him.
They are a very cost-efficient unit against the Nats, but as you say, he just does not have enough. Somehow he's still on par with Drolef. I have no idea how this has been accomplished.
Yes, they're all down here.
No Sprafe down there, though. Yeah. I feel like jakulangski, when he saw the Nefracles, just need to throw down immediately 2 Kagrants on each base and just declined to do so. Now he's paying for it, and reading the situation very wrongly, moved his army out. And yeah, he's going to lose the Hydra, as you say. But as I said, Qualification, I think, are fine here. I'm going to clean those up at least.
No, let's see what he just elects to do next. I mean, not looking too hot here. The Hydra Thin will fall. So that's a little bit of S-beam that needs to be reinvested.
Again, I guess the game will go on, although it looks much better for Tacocake now.
I know.
I really want to see him put down a spray for the natural, please.
There's enough quasis here that you could probably combine arms this and just charge in, use the Nats to bust the circuit with their higher base damage.
That's pretty dicey, but jakulangski's giving him an in. If jakulangski charges across the map again, he's definitely going to lose. He needs to just stay home and recover here. There you go. I think he's realized that. Look, I would not try and bust that, I don't think. The Nefracles will not kill the circuit that quickly, and you can't underestimate the Hydra's DPS here. That's a lot of Hydras, man. It's 10 Hydras. I don't think you can bust that, but if jakulangski's sitting out here...
7 pairs of Nats are about to hatch. Just saying.
Yeah.
He's got his own Larvas.
Sitting out here. Nice, very nice. Although, when you make a Nefracles, I don't know if I agree with that.
Yeah, I probably would opt
Look at his bank, though. Equal 1 doesn't matter at this point. Okay, he's making more causeless too. Maybe he is thinking what you're thinking. He's just going to come in here and bust. And maybe with all that stuff, he could.
I do think at this point 7 pairs of Zets would do a lot better, just because they occupy. They allow the rest of the force to get in close enough. But you know, most people. I think a lot of the Zergs that are coming up here, they've been poisoned by the Shambler and other such minds who are saying, no, Zets are useless. You never find use for them. Get them out. He's got a 6 quasi drop over here too. That could be.
Yeah, this is a great move. I like this a lot because he can just deal with the Sprafe and drag the units in and then hit the front. And he's just got so much stuff. 68 military units for Tacocake. That's crazy.
I know.
But jakulangski's ahead on Drolef again.
I know.
If he put down a bit more static defense, I think he'd be in a good spot. But can he hold this next attack? This looks extremely dangerous. Here comes the Quasilists, probably to their deaths.
Listen, how many quasis does it take to kill a circuit? That's my question here.
A lot.
And here comes the horde of 24 Nefracores.
Oh my god.
He has identified exactly where those Hydras are, and that is going to result in the Kagrants getting bopped. Here's 6 quasis to help out. Ovolith to detect the burrowing workers. That trick isn't going to play up a 3rd time.
Nice pull. Nice pull, though. He's going to keep the Drolef alive mostly. And now here's the Hydras. I don't think you can fight that. The Nafs need to get out of here. Oh my gosh.
Well, the quasis weren't really in at the same time, but despite that, 12, 11, 10. Okay, we're starting to drop a little bit more. But honestly, he's just fine. He's just fine on that. Even that.
But more military units hatching. Oh my god, way more quasis coming in though.
They finally kill it. It only took 20 quasis or so, but they finally kill it. The ski-back scab was finished, but it was not used. And at this point, I think Taco has overrun our boy Jack. I think we're going to game number 2, and Taco is going to have the advantage. Too many quasis camping the production. Look at all these poor workers. Oh, dear.
Yeah, absolute annihilation here. Tacocake just putting his foot down on the gas, and jakulangski was not able to defend.
Oh no, the Ovolith block again. Just like what happened to Art. Just like what happened to Art.
Yeah, that's how you do it. Yeah, that's how you win ZVZ. Oh my god, another swarm. How did he get this much gas on 2 bases, man?
I know, he's got plenty more to spend too, but he's not gonna.
That's true.
Yeah. All right, Jack is going to take it. Taco takes the opener. All right, well, hey, Impetus, the map that looks kind of like Axiom, despite that, is obviously going to go the way of our new kid on the block, new Zerg on the block. What do we make of that game?
My prediction already refuted there. jakulangski falling down pretty easily, really. I feel like he was doing well on paper, I suppose, but the decision to move out again really just lost him the game almost instantly. If he just kept home, put some stuff in the main, some stuff at the natural, I think he's fine to just keep building up Hydras until he has enough to both defend at home and move out. Because at the end of the day, the Nafricore cannot scale cost for cost.
Yes, that's correct. They definitely do fall off a little bit in the later stages of the game especially, but also if you're trying to deal with things like Quasis, like Hydras, even Hydras, which
much more so the
SP.
Quasis, by the way.
But yeah.
Quasis much more cost efficient.
Yeah, because you don't have the gas expenditure at all. But even Hydras trade better versus Naths than the Naths, will trade versus Hydras, right? So it's still going to favor the ground army at that point. And so, yeah, your Naths are best used for raids. And actually, Taco making a potential argument for their inclusion in the later stage of the game, or the early stage of the game, right? Like figuring out, like, okay, if I'm gonna try to use, a more quasi-oriented force, and again, maybe somebody else can innovate further on that with Zets and Vorvs and the like to try to have a more competitive mineral dump force to deal with the ground game, and then pull off the containment or so, and then have the Nats sort of be there to raid and such with the Ovaleth drop and stuff. Like, there's definitely a lot of flourishes there, but we're going on a derelict. It's obviously plenty of time to shake it off. Let's see if jakulangski has an answer. In the bottom left is him, Tacocake in the top right. Not phased by a GLHF. Just fine.
No, he never tilts, he never rages, man. He's very well mannered. The only thing that can happen to him is running out of oil.
That's right.
He doesn't say is happening yet.
I did ask him, if you make it to battlements, will I be able to interview you and ask you why you're made of oil? And he just reacted thinking emoji. So I'm not sure. I don't think we'll get him.
Okay. I don't know if English is his first language, actually, so I don't know how down to be with a spoken interview, but I guess we'll see if we get a reply to that. That'd be cool.
To see. I mean, hey, as far as I understand, because his time zone he keeps telling me is the Philippine times, I assume that means he's from the Philippines. So I think that would make him like the third or fourth person from that neck of the wood, that general geography. Because I think...
Are you including me in that?
No. I'm thinking like Concealed Organic and that guy's friend Midori are both from, I can't remember if it's Philippines or Singapore, but it's like, to me, that's the same place because I'm American. But obviously they're they're at least neighbors. They're at least neighbors. So.
I mean, do you call countries that don't touch each other neighbors? What do you call them?
Yeah, well, they touch the water. So you're my neighbor,
but like Australia and, I don't know, England touch the water.
That's right.
Look how far away they are. Like, are they neighbors?
I don't know. They seem close enough. They sent all their prisoners to you guys. So I don't know.
Yeah, okay, whatever.
We've got a pool first here for Mr. Jack. So he's planning some shenanigans. Hatched by the ramp yet again for Taco. Was that a 7 pool,
by the way? I did not see the... I think it is, just based on how much... Oh, no, maybe 8. Maybe 8.
It's like 7 or 8. Yeah.
Oh, he cancelled a draw left just now, by the way.
Yeah.
I think he realized he's like, oh crap, I've got to make units. Only making 1 quaz. I think he overdroned a bit though.
Yeah, I think so. He cancelled one a little bit later, and then he was like, what else should I make? But
I mean, if he's just planning that, oh god, Tacocake's going to 6-pull me, I'm just going to defend, then fine. But he did get the Hatch Rosk. I think this is purely defensive, actually. I think he's thinking that Tacocake was going to go for a pull first, but it didn't work out. Because, see, he saved for the Hatch Rosk, actually, I think is why he only made 1 batch of quads. So this isn't that committed. He's not that far behind Tacocake, just a slight difference. And, again, with the in-base Hatch, which I prefer as an opener, you probably notice, I think it's good to be safe. But it does mean you have a very slight economic disadvantage compared to going on the low ground. So, things sort of even out here. I think it's fine for the openings. And you did get that scouting draw left.
Yeah, that was before he could scout the pool finish, but obviously you know that because the Quasis are out. So I wonder if what he was thinking there, and from the perspective of Taco, is, oh, this guy went, I don't even know if the worker scouted the hatch, actually. I guess you probably...
Not. I can tell you, if you don't
click
towards natural, you won't see it. If you go straight into the main, you will not.
Okay. So he probably thinks this is just pool then? I mean, maybe you surmise, oh, wait a second, he's got an in-base or whatever.
Oh, no. Looks like Tacocake knows what he's doing. He knows that he's still into 3rd Hatch Rosk here. Jack needs to be careful. He needs to pull back.
Yeah,
okay, looks like he will. I don't think he's losing one. But yeah, no, I think Tacocake very on the ball actually in terms of how the matchup shakes out. I wonder if he's been practicing with someone a bit higher level, or he's just that good.
Yeah, well,
high ground though.
I know. Yeah, he's also not controlling this back quasi, so that ended up being a pretty big difference maker. Only now going to think about spending his money on that. Instead, he pulls.
That's pretty huge. I think he could have thrown it down, even if he has absolutely no units down there. 4 quasis is just never going to kill that. So I don't think he needed to not do that. Getting the cake rent now. two Kegrins being built? Is that for a Lavos? What's he doing with the other one? Oh no.
Gates of Hell.
The Gates of Hell. No, Tacocake, don't do it.
Oh no, I think he's just dead. I think he's just dead.
Oh
You
my
can't
God.
fight Quasis with workers. You can't fight Quasis with workers.
Well, hang on. His own Quasi's going to hatch here. But only 4 of them. He needs to do a bigger pull. And no micro coming in here. Okay, there we go. Man, that amount of draw life is just a meal for the Quasis. He needs to pull way more to hold there. Oh, he's going for more draw life as well.
I think he'll get one more. Yeah, no burrow comes out, so he gets one more.
A really nice job by jakulangski there, realizing he's not going to kill those Quasis.
And you know, if this would be very different if the third hatch came up, right? Because then he'd have production. So you'd be like, okay, I already got it.
Tanking, dude.
Yeah, well,
you got to do that.
That too, tank with the hatch.
Does Jack have the Lavos behind this? No, he doesn't. So that's kind of where you see the pain in economy, is he doesn't have any more production now. But he does have the money for a Hatchros, which he does need to get. But sitting pretty here with a Circus to defend the natural, with that Kegrint coming down really fast, you can see the benefit of going for the first hatchery on the low ground. There's that Hatchros. So I'm really liking Jack's sort of opening here. I think it makes sense to play it safe after you're just like, okay, he did the NAF rush. Maybe he's just super aggressive. I'm just going to make sure. And you can see he's easily ahead in economy.
Yep.
Even after that.
Yeah, Hatch now coming down for Tacocake, but he doesn't actually have that many combat units. He only has the 3 Quasis. They're narrowly going to miss out on this Ovolith that is going to be dropping 6 Quasis of his own. Jack, meanwhile, is going to have the perfect timing on his own scout to be exactly aware that there's nothing to be feared, at least as far as these 3 Quasis are concerned. Taco knows about that.
Yeah.
Okay, he's going to catch him. I was going to say.
He does need to be a bit careful about like 20 Corselets just showing up and running into his base, right? But that is not happening yet because those circles don't stop run by at all.
Yeah, but he's got his Quasis up here. He's got a hatch up here. He's going to go ahead and unload nice and in safety. And there are
classic
a couple
derelict,
of Quasis,
right?
But
there's the spot.
That's right. Yeah, this is where you float the stockades, you float the anchor, all sorts of stuff.
Exactly.
All right. Well, the Quasis are going to march on in. The pull's very, very quick. So at least he's on the ball there. He doesn't actually lose a single worker just yet. He should have actually tossed him onto a worker or a mineral node or something, but
I don't think he has vision. The Hatchros isn't finished until just now, and it doesn't give enough vision when it's morphing. So best he could do. But yeah, they're not going to kill that Hatchros. No, the draw life, get it out of there.
I think he's just fine. He lost some mining time, but he didn't lose any workers. The problem is he's down 10 workers already in Neblime. So
yeah. So I think it's worth it for jakulangski, maybe barely, to just get that mining time. It depends, you know, if he didn't have such strong static defense, then maybe you'd say don't lose all those Qualities. But with 2 Circuits up at the natural, it's like, okay, yeah, you just disrupt him a bit. I think it's fine. As you say, so far ahead here. But he also, with a bank, jakulangski is dominating economically here, and he's got the ski back already on the way.
That's right. So he's definitely going to be able to afford this. Kegrint is certainly for a Larvosk. It's positioned like it wants to be.
You know,
near the
when you're morphing the Hydra, I like getting a Larvos because it takes a while, and you don't need like a million gas to make a few Hydras. But when you're making the ski back, I don't know if I agree with that because you need a lot for those Bactylus, which I assume he's going to make here. Or if it's Skifricor, even more, which I doubt he's going to make Skifricor here.
Well, he could if he wanted to. I mean, he's pretty far ahead in that department. The problem is he needs this Ovolith to stay alive. So as long as this Ovolith remains tall, that way you'll still be able to detect the burrowed workers that are trying to avoid the pain. But you know, it's not going to get sniped by the Quasis. They're a little bit too slow, but that was a good opportunity.
I think the Skifricor in general are only good when you get like, you know, 13 or so of them.
I know, yeah, you do need a lot of them, it feels like. So
yes,
I do think they move out. They're a little bit better at scouting than the Nath because they have a little bit more vision range. So there's
they're a lot more durable, right?
Yeah,
and, they do have more burstiness because they're actually ranged and splash and stuff. So they're definitely a worthwhile unit. It's just that I don't think we're at the scale of the game where they actually sort of make sense yet because they're not efficient versus Quasilus for sure.
Oh yeah. If you were just making them to be a little bit better at scouting, hey, 7 of them are on the way, so he's taking it to heart. He's going to go for it.
All right, well I stand corrected.
That's what he wants to do.
If Taccocake's just out of position, that's all it takes, right? He can do a lot more damage and just get even more ahead here. So, you know, I don't have anything against this play. I just think in this particular case, it hasn't been the best choice. I would rather see him just power up the Hydras and backs, because imagine you had like 10 Hydras and 4 Bactylus, those Quasilus would be so doomed.
I know, yeah. Especially if you end up having a couple Izzies on the front line just to delay their inevitable push. But Taco's going to go ahead and match the tempo, roughly speaking, of the expansion.
It
looks
like,
I guess he's heading to 12 o'clock here. Okay, so
I like that because he knows he's behind in army, I think.
That's
and he's thinking like, well, if he comes in attacks, he cancel it easily. Let me just do something sneaky, but not so sneaky that I can't demand it later.
Yeah, I guess one thing to say is that I don't think Taco has a Noveleth. I thought maybe he made one earlier, but if he did, it got destroyed. And so he has no idea that this attack is coming. We need to see the Burrow come in. And the Noveleth isn't in nearby, but the Burrow would still slow them down and get them out of the way of the Hydras and the Quasis that are hatching right now, which is not coming to life just yet. Jack just hatched a bunch of workers as well. There's the Burrow. Okay, the Noveleth not in the area to detect. However, you can still work with this. Yeah, you can still work with that.
Very nice move.
Yeah, these are a little bit further off to the side. Oh no, they're decolliding out though. They're okay. Oh no, another round, another couple dead workers. Hey, you can even fight those Hydras, giving them more targets. Right? Oh, no! And look at that,
only
nice
losing job by jakulangski there.
Yeah.
Sorry to interrupt you.
No, only one lost skiff out of that whole ordeal, so that's definitely Jack ahead.
Yeah, huge. Totally worth all that gas. Again, I stand corrected. Everything I've said so far in this series is wrong. That's you know.
Yeah, Jack winning 3-0, not being able to be worth it with the skits. But I will say that the response was a little bit lackluster from Tacocake. I does feel like he could have reacted a little bit better with that. It is a little bit of a nightmarish situation, though. When the fast flyers come in from your natural, and you can just envision them attacking your third or your main or wherever they're going to go next, you have to kind of predict where they're going to go, and that means you have to move your ground army up there sooner. And we don't see any anti-air defenses. The Quasis are here to catch any more incoming units from that south, but it looks like the skits will finally be put a stop to. The Ovaleth not able to reveal any more. I think maybe he gets one more worker kill here. No, not even.
Ooh,
so
let's try.
But, you know, it doesn't really matter at this point because we're talking about a difference of 20 workers yet again, and now the storm is coming.
Oh, look, that he's making a lot of Zephyr cores, which says to me he's about to do a big attack.
Yes.
He wants them to deal with the infrastructure and the defenses. And yeah, he did just trade them off, but he traded them off reasonably well. Got enough draw lefts. It's not so much that his opponent's economy is crippled, it's just that he's going to remake a bunch of draw lefts, not the military units, when jakulangski is ready to come in for the kill. Now, the gates of hell up there are actually going to be important in this situation. They might actually matter. But look at this. Is he going to drop right on top of them? I like this, but he needs to come with the rest of the army at the same time. On their own, what do you think? Here we go.
All right, the attack's going to come on in. We do have the circuit firing shots. This Kagran just finished, but it's not going to be able to mutate in time. We have Bactalisks on the way for Tacocake. The question is, can he hold off long enough? He'll have been in this situation before. He's made miracle holds happen on Derelict, but this one might be a little bit too miraculous, and I don't think the Bible's on his side. Let's find out. They keep on wriggling on in, and the first circuit's falling down here. The one on the high ground has already been dropped by the Hydras, and that'll be called GG. Jack taking it. 1-1, tie it up.
Yeah, nice job by jakulangski there in that final attack. He brought the overlap in to drop on the high ground to stop that high ground circuit just getting crazy value. So really nice. I have to say, in this series so far, jakulangski is showing us like a lot better micro than versus AOT.
Yeah, I wonder if maybe he's like more awake now or something. Who knows? All right, we go to the
was he playing
from map 3.
Was he playing at some wacky time?
I'm not honestly sure how the time worked out. I think he was... It must have been kind of weird because it was like... I know he's 11 hours ahead of me, and AOT was 3 hours behind me, and they played at like 4 or 5 a.m. AOT's time, which would have been 6, 7. So you're talking about, I guess not really, it was probably like 8 p.m. his time or something like that, right? So.
Well, we are in a similar time zone, so he's on sort of all kinds of time, so I don't think it bothers him for sure.
Yeah, and going up against Tacocake, who's in Central European time, it's I think it's a little bit easier, right? Because that's like 6 hour difference. There's like a 5 hour difference between the two of them. So who knows when they played? And either way, Jack's feeling it. Let's see what happens in the Purgatory. We have Tacocake in the top left. We have jakulangski in the bottom right. GLHF. Big fan.
One of these colors, olive and what's the white one?
This is lemon, actually, Neblime. Come on.
Oh,
and that's Beaster Brown.
Oh, okay. I call it olive. Okay.
We do have olive. We have dark olive and light olive.
So. Oh, okay. All right. Yeah. How many colors? 100 something.
100 and I don't know. 8.
You don't know. Who would know if not you? If this knowledge is lost to us.
I have the number. I have the document here. Hold on. While you're talking about important things, I'll tell you we have 109 actually. So.
Okay. Is he going to go for the 6F? I don't know that he is. I think he's going to go Quasilis again. The thing is, run 6 Zeph across. Obviously, they completely died even 4 Quasilis. But the thing is, they get there faster. If there's a Hatchros on the low ground, they'll kill it super fast. And I think the best play here is you just sort of menace your opponent with them. You don't even plan to kill anything. You just go like, okay, you're going to have to make defenses. I'm just going to be getting my Hatchros and trolling up, even though I went 7 pool. It doesn't even matter. But we'll see. He is saving the lava, but he's getting gas. What is this gas for?
Is that for an Ovaleth?
Ovaleth?
Yeah, he's queued up one.
We saw this versus AT,
wait,
actually,
what?
and it was
is this going to be
effective.
Is this going to be like a Zeth / Quasi push with the Kagrans?
Yeah, you know.
Or is it going to be a drop? Like, I don't know what the Kagran's for. He's not mining gas anymore, so it can't be.
He's definitely dropping that Kagran, man. There's no way he's not dropping that. I think what'll happen is the Quasis will be on the low ground, sort of menacing the ramp, and then suddenly there'll be like a circuit in his mineral line, and be like, what? That's how it's going to go.
Okay.
Now, what's the usual hatch first?
Yeah, it was hatch into pool here, but it's kind of weird to me. I wonder why Taco does this. He puts it super far away from the ramp most of the time. Like, his positioning. is interesting there. It doesn't want to use it as a wall, I guess. That's probably what he's thinking. He wants like full freedom to move units down the ramp or something like that.
Even if you don't make a Circuit, it's huge just for tanking, as we know. Hatchros the best tank in ZVC.
That's right, yeah. Forget about the Zorius. All right, well, the Quasis are going to start streaming across slowly. By the way, for anybody curious why we have the cat ears enabled again, that's because actually it was breaking the replays if we left celebrations off. So we'll bring them to you in their full silly glory as an April Fool's prank.
Jakulangski needs to not reveal that he has a K-Grin in this now. If he reveals he has a K-Grin in now, I feel like Tacocake's going to be able to stop it.
Well, it's also a little suspicious to have an Ovolith this early on in my enemy's base, right? So I think it's the right thing to hold it here, because then otherwise, you know...
Well, actually, if you see Jakulangski do it, you probably think he just put a Circuit for his natural, because he does do that.
Okay.
Is he going to fly it at the perfect time? Because he's coming down here, there's going to be a bit of a fight, which I think will be a fairly even fight, and he flies in at that exact moment.
That's right. Did he even notice it? I'm not sure that he did. Camera locked onto this position, trying to micro his little heart out versus all of the Quasis, and it's unloaded, but it's not turning. Okay, now it's mutating, and we do...
Oh my god, this is such a sick strategy. And look at that, he's just thinking like, okay, you can run up in here, but I've got more Quasis. Wait a minute, what's that morphing?
Yeah,
as soon as that finishes, it's going to be so strong versus Quasilis. You're not going to be able to stop that, it's going to finish.
Yep, it is.
Oh my god.
Away it goes, trying to deal with all of these Quasis. He'll be able to focus down his opponent's Quasis anyway, but unfortunately the Circuits, it's up and doing damage at this point, and this hatch is nowhere near completion, so he cannot transfer to a new base.
Oh, look at that, no. He's going to pull ahead in workers again.
Yeah, talk about it. More than that, he's got more Quasis coming on in from the reinforcement point. A very fast GG. And now Jack is at Battleman's Point yet again.
Very nice, like sort of all in there. I didn't expect it from Jakulangski.
I know,
like,
crafty.
Again, he's playing so differently to how he played versus Turtle.
Yeah, I wonder how much of that. Okay, well, listen, we gotta smarten up. Can't talk about colors or April Fool's pranks or whatever. It's Fata Morgana. This could be the last time we see these two duking it out. Otherwise, Germination obviously waits in the wings. We'll see if that's a real replay or not. Tacocake in the top left and Jakulangski in the top right. By the way, since I said Fata Morgana, I have to tell you that it's a map by Veek7. It's like when you say, by the way, after 12. So keep that in mind. Now, I'm not sure about this one, but surely we'll see a normal game now, right? To end it out?
Well, it intrigues me that Tacocake picked this one when he just got like 7 pull / dropped.
I know, yeah. Very thin vertical spawns. Yeah, it's worth noting that Taco selected the Purgatory, and he also selected Fata Morgana now. So that leaves Germination left over only.
And what did Jakulangski pick after he lost? What map was it?
That would have been Derelict, yeah. He picked Derelict after
that's
Impetus,
right.
So.
Well, it served him well. It's a very straightforward map, I think. Okay, look at that. Jakulangski coming across with the fast scout, going for pool first again. I think he's gone pool first every game here. Oh, no, he went hatch first the first game, didn't he?
Yeah, that's right. But so far, he hasn't lost a game where he's gone pool first. So what's that tell you?
Hatcheros useless, confirmed.
That's right. Tacocake over here putting a hatch by the ramp. Who would have guessed? But hey, he has subscribed to the Neblime school of Zerg so far, right? He's always doing hatch on ramp. That's his own.
Yeah, which is
very steady. Oh, here we go.
Well, it worked last time. Why not?
Hey, one less worker got pulled this time around, so it's progress, but it's still a little bit too many. Still a little bit too many for my liking. I think you only need, what, 2 of them, and then if it starts mutating,
I only put 1, and then I only put more if it starts morphing into a Circuit.
Yeah, that's right, because he can always just cancel it, right? So, you know, I think he's learned that lesson, actually. He's like, okay, yeah, he's just going to...
Jakulangski's going, okay, I guess the fun's over.
Yeah, that's right.
I really hope he doesn't morph that again, because then he's wasting a bit too much. No, what are you doing? Now he's spent a lot of minerals on this. I don't think.
Yeah, if you cancel it 3 times, you actually have spent 75 whole. Or no, I guess that's not true because it's 50. It's 50 minerals. So
yeah.
No, now it's working. Now it's worth 100%.
Cancel. Oh my god, that was close.
Hatch is about to pop over here for good old Taco, and look at this. Jack went pool into the hatch on here. So
yeah, which I think is fine.
I wonder if there's a chance, because Taco doesn't scout. I've noticed he's another one of these Zerg players that just decides, nah, scouting's not for me. But if he scouted and saw the pool coming, do you think this is just like one of those mind game things? Because, oh, the K-Grim mutating and the pool behind it, oh man, I'm getting all in. Quick, I got to build, like, overcommit on defense or something, and then maybe he could have gone ahead. But unfortunately for Jack, Taco just didn't scout him. So.
Maybe that was the idea. It would be pretty good if he got a Circuit on high ground or something. It would have been very good for Jack.
Oh, yeah, and I tell a lie. He did technically scout on Derelict. I forgot about that. But, you know, like, the last game, I don't think there was a scout.
Well, he's technically scouting now. It's just a bit late.
That's right. Yeah, very late.
Oh, my God. But his 2 quads is going to get annihilated here. Jack needs to save those.
No, there's no saving them. They're too committed.
Well, they kind of did a bit of damage. If you can pick off the ninja one, no, he needs to run.
Yeah, Taco's put it in the back line, so that's very smart of him. Now, this could be a little bit messy in the early stages of the game. We do have Jack.
I'd like to see a Circuit because he went for this low ground. And, you know, again, 1 Circuit denies so many quasis here. But he's going to have enough. Several hatch in a moment. He will defend here. But Tacocake's rallying a little more.
Let's see. What does he want to do? Yeah, there's a couple more streaming on him. We got Idle Larva. Drolette's on the wrong
Yeah, a lot
rally.
of bag for Tacocake, unfortunately.
Yeah, he's going to go ahead and take this expansion now. But I think he needs to actually stab in here and do stuff. On Fata Morgana, you can just ignore the ramp entirely. And
That's not enough range, dude.
Yeah.
If you lose that K-Grid, that's a big loss, unfortunately. It looks like he will. Big mistake by Jack to come up there. We're not on Derelict, man. You can't use that overhang.
That's right. Well, he won't be able to fight the quasi v quasi fight, so I would have liked to see him commit to doing some more economic damage and killing some more workers. But I guess thinning the herd is fine. Like, you put the fear of God in your opponent thinking, oh my God, is he just about ready to send in a bunch more units? But we know that Tacocake actually has no military coming or made. So, you know, putting his opponent on the defensive, right?
A lot of gas for Jack. I'm not sure what the idea is with that, but this is a big economic problem. And he's super behind in workers now, 16 to 21.
Yeah, he's going to try to rectify that. Zerg Shambler, of course. The
every time.
Big fan. Remember when? Listen, I don't think you were here, but Shambler actually did spend like a good 6-month period. It felt like building only Hydras and winning because back in the day they were pretty good units.
Might happen again. I don't know.
We do have Quasi's hatching.
Well, when I first started, I was playing Zerg versus Shambler's Karen all the time. I would build a Hydra as my very first building.
Right. You're stretching your legs as like someone who's coming from Brood War, and you're like, whoa, finally, I don't have to build a pool that I'm not going to even use. Versus,
well, I'm not going to lie. In Brood War, the Hydralisk are not my only unit. If I play Zerg, I like Ling Reader only, pretty much.
Ah, okay, interesting. Yeah, you know, way back in the day, you actually could go Spire as your first structure, but that was before it turned into a tier 2 thing. So.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, it was before we had the Shroud even.
Opening.
No, it was before that unit even existed. It was I think the Spire only gave you Muta and I want to say Gorgorcore because it used to come from an egg and then it used to be a Muta evolution and then now it comes back from the egg again, you know, but from a different structure.
Jack Lindsay trying to get some info out here, sending out these 2 quads. I'd really like if he moved down below the map, but hey, he's going to see this force coming in. But he's got 2 circles of his own. He'll be totally fine here. Unfortunately, lose them both.
He doesn't really have that many units, especially if he goes ahead and commits to this drop. The units can just run on by and attack the worker line.
They can, but I don't think you get that much value out of that in the end. Because a lot of them will die running past that. I don't think it's actually going to be that scary. So I think it's the right choice to Tacocake not to go in there.
I don't know. I think he could have wiped this whole worker line or forced a pull or whatever and then still been, you know, then you have your opponent who's trying to dance around it, but we'll have to see.
I think you overestimate how much will get past those circles.
Nah, dude. You outrun
I think
him.
even if he kills like 5 or 6 Stroll left, he loses his entire army to do that, and then he's kind of in a dicey situation. So I think he made the right choice. Drop coming in here. Same old thing from last game, actually. Oh, no, last game. Derelict game, rather.
Yeah, that's right.
Just drop it in that spot.
Is it a desert map? Then I drop. Very fast reaction time for Taco, though. I think he should have plenty of tools coming over here, and this won't really accomplish too much at the end of the day.
Oh, well, gonna kill a few quazzers for his trouble, I guess.
That's right.
Yeah, actually, that was pretty good defense.
He scouts the ski back, though. If he clicked on it, he would have seen the wireframe be different, so...
No ski back for Jack here. Not that you have to get it, by all means. You don't have to go for those backdoors or anything. Gonna get a Sprafe, it looks like. Anticipating skiffs, perhaps?
Yes, I think so. There is a little bit of gas for Jack, but not so for Tacocake, so we're not sure what he wants to make out of them. Could just be a straightforward backed push, honestly, and I wouldn't hate that.
I would be surprised if he didn't make backs, because he wanted to make them last game, he just didn't get there.
That's right, yeah. And with Hydras on your field as well, you can absolutely push onto circuits, right? Like, that's no problem at all.
You know, Jack is showing a bit better multitasking here, I want to say, because he managed to, like, sort of throw a drop in just to throw things off. At the same time, he's getting a third, getting his Zorkias, all this stuff. I mean, look at the production tab, right?
Yeah.
And he's managed to get the worker count in his favor again. So I'm getting kind of worried for Tacocake. I feel like the longer the game goes, actually, Jack is going to look better and better, sort of skill-wise, actually, because I think he has a lot more experience with these longer games.
Yep, absolutely. And we saw that at versus Art of Turtle even, right? The game that went really long is the game that he was able to take on the Purgatory.
Yeah, even with someone who's like a lot more mechanically skilled, right? He kind of comes out these later games. So Tacocake needs to be worried here. Now, the backers are very powerful. It is possible that he'll come in and be able to bust here, or at least deny the third. If he denies the third, gets his own, he's still in a good position here. And Tacocake, or neither of them actually, saving up for tier 2 yet.
That's right.
So no advantage going to come out right away.
And with the Shroud coming too, you know, that's that does mean that I think for Jack's case, he's probably not going to go for tier 2 anytime soon.
Well, actually, I like to get it, and then you can spam the Zoryus, and you have a good mineral dump, actually, so it's a good way to save for it. And he's going up over 300 gas, so maybe that's what he's thinking too. Yeah, there you go, he's making some Zoryus. The thing is, the Zero Core is not bad, but Zoryus are just way better as a frontline tank. And he's saving up that gas gun. I think he's thinking it. Needs to be in good position to defend here, but the bridges are quite defensible.
Yeah, Taco going for 8 Hydras on the back of this, not interested in saving up his own Vespine. He also had almost 1,000 minerals at some points, so worth pointing out.
One Circuit defending that bridge is huge, but he hasn't going to yet. The backdoor's going to make this really hard for Jack, though.
That's right. Now, they have even range with the circuits, and they obviously do pretty pitiful damage. Yeah, this is allowing him to get in. The Zoryus are all behind the units, too.
They are going to get shredded, dude. This is too much from Tacocake. He needs to give up this third. I don't think this is going to go well for Jack at all.
No, the bridges are still causing some units to spin around, and the Hydras are in such a strong situation here for Jack that I think Taco has maybe overstayed his welcome a little bit. He should be able to pick off some of these Zoryus, but that's about it.
I was dead wrong, because half the army just went the other way.
Yes.
And he crushed that. My God.
Yeah, the treacherous bridges. You know, you got to watch out for those. This is the wider one that gives you a little bit better.
Man. Yeah.
No, it's good.
It
tells me what to look out for. So, you know, here's what's going to be incorrect in just a moment.
Well, he does have a lot more units out here. I'm going to say something I think Tacocake can hold. I'm going to say it. See what happens now.
Well, we have three Lakissilisks on the way, so I think Jack wants to try to push the issue here. Hydra v Hydra.
Yeah, it's a lot of Hydras for Tacocake, though. Quads are going to come in here, but they're not going to be super efficient here. They'll add some value, but, well, I guess it's a pretty close fight, actually.
Yeah, the Quasi's trying to help out, make the difference, but there was enough of these Hydras kind of stacked up, and there wasn't really any focus fire for Tacocake, so Jack's slightly higher counts, even though he had the worst concave.
There was the Lakissilisk in there. That would have been sick.
Yeah. Talk about it.
Look, I don't like the Lakissilisk at all here, because... Oh, he's going to lose that. You just want to fight, right? And you have a third base up where your opponent doesn't. If you just went for tier 2 and drolled up, you'd be looking really good. Now it's like, okay, you can like contain your opponent with the Lakissilisk or whatever. Maybe he can attack if there's no overlap anywhere, but seems dicey. But it seems like you're saying, I'm ahead, so I'm going to bet on a dicey strategy that could put me behind, rather than just keep your lead and exploit that. Ooh, but look at that.
Yeah, it's a cute base. The Ovoleth won't even find it.
It's a good choice when you're on the ropes here, and you know your opponent's got control of the map. I like it.
All right, let's see what these Lakisselisks are all about. He's only got 3 of them, but they could make a pretty big difference in the ground game. He's keeping away from the Bactylisks on the ramp is a good move. Does know that they are there. So now he's going to go ahead and see if he can push forward. Forcing the issue again. The Lakisselisks are going to deal a lot of damage, and the Azira cores are just getting shredded right now.
I think he anticipated there was no detection at all. He's not just doing this like a straight bus, he's just trying to abuse that. But he's using his other army a lot. And the circuit's getting a lot of value here.
Yeah, only 1 Bactylisk on the ramp right now. But I do think that the circuits are still plenty alive. There is the Lakissilisk here to... One of them was able to actually attack that. It looks like another one. Okay, they're finally going to go down. The Zoryus come in to storm the gates, but there's nothing to help them with right now. It's only Zoryus.
He needs to move those in further. Here we go. Oh, but the overlaps are here. But is it in time? The Overlaps starting to get under threat here.
He's panic-built like a bunch of them. That's going to cut into his gas. I know.
Killed that back. How did that even happen?
Yeah, there's a bunch of them.
Gosh. They're everywhere.
Yeah, occupying the time. Plenty of Zoryus action over here.
Oh my God. They just don't die.
I know, yeah. They're taking way too long to die because of the Bactylisks dealing way less damage than they would otherwise if they were Hydras.
Yeah, wow. Actually crushes through there.
More of them are hatching. I feel a little bit of a focus fire would go a long way here for Tacocake. It doesn't feel like he was really doing that because all of his units are attacking the broodlings, the road cores. That's not going to be enough. The workers have been wiped. I don't think he's got it. I don't think he can hold. I think you were wrong again, Neblime.
I was. But the result, I wasn't that far off. It looks like it's going to be a 3-1 for Jack, and he's going to go through into battlements for the first time. GG.
Look at that. GG indeed. We got Jack in battlements, baby.
Nice. Well, a good showing for Tacocake, though. He definitely had threats, as we saw it. He took a game, first game, pretty solidly as well. So props to him, and good luck in Gauntlet B, because he's going to need it. It's a tough gauntlet.
That's right.
And that's all of Gauntlet A, right? We're done with Gauntlet A now.
That's right. Gauntlet A comes to a close. Gauntlet B has already opened up as of today. We've got our first matches scheduled, and I think maybe, let me see if one of them is already underway. I believe that's the case. Yeah, it sure is. So, hey, that's how you know we move fast over here.
Well, let's give a quick rundown of the 4 players we did get then.
That's right.
So, We have Newt, the incredibly scary rising star, according to me anyway.
Yeah.
I think he's looking very dangerous. We have AOT, the Brood War. I was going to say like champion or pro or something. That's not quite right.
He's a veteran. He's been around the block, right?
Yeah, veteran. I like veteran, but it's not like he's out there winning ASL. I mean, if I say like champion, it's like, oh shit, is Flash playing?
Yeah. One day.
Yeah. Coming through, bruised but intact. Definitely still getting used to it, but I think he's definitely growing in danger as well. We have 3 Crow, the old timer, still getting in there, still showing he can do it. Showing his knowledge, and we have Jack, another up-and-comer as well, I think looking very strong, but still a lot of issues to iron out, but I think improving every day. So some threats for sure for everyone who pre-qualified to battlements.
Yep, that's true for sure. And, we got to point out that of the people who have pre-qualified, okay, I guess there's like, Veek has had limited time to play and practice. Hapsea obviously is making time to do it every now and then, which is good. iSarcasm has hardly played at all. Like, I don't think, unless he's been practicing with just his own homies, his own crew, which he did before instead of publicly. I don't think he's played at all. So it'll be really interesting to see what he wants to do there. And just sort of factoring all of that in means you kind of have to shrug your shoulders and say, I think some of the people who were pre-qualified may not necessarily go all the way this time around. There's also been a lot of race changes. It looks like Shambler is initially switching to Terran. Now he thinks about switching to Protoss. So he won't be Zerg is the bottom line. And you've obviously switched away from Terran. Hamster switched away from Zerg to Protoss. So like a lot of the people who are coming in, the most active crew that are coming in that have been pre-qualified have all changed their races. The least active crew aren't that active, so who knows how good they are. And also Beak did change to Zerg as well from Protoss, so even he also changed. So then you have to you think about the people who are played into form. They've got the strategies. They know where they need to improve upon. I think honestly, I'm looking at this and thinking, yeah, there's no confirmed like, oh yeah, this player is definitely easy. Like you might look at the lower bracket here and say like, oh, 3 Crow and Jack qualified through the lower. They're not as threatening. Maybe that's true, but also maybe you could get bopped. You never know. Like there's who knows what kind of antics that they're going to end up doing. There's some of the stuff that both of them ended up showing here to make things happen were definitely stuff that I think you can write home about, right? So.
Yeah, absolutely. And we're getting 2 more from Gauntlet B.
That's right.
I'm scared, man. I'm scared.
Yeah. And it's hard. It's too early to tell if who's going to do who. There's some people, Biddy B switching to Zerg. I don't know if I like that as an idea. We still have the people who were eliminated in these last best of 5s, right? You're thinking of Tacocake just now, General Anakin as well. Those are the top 2 seeded players into that gauntlet, so they actually have a bye in the first round. And then we think about, obviously, Top Ramen, who's signed up. We got Benno's Protoss still in the mix. Beaver's Terran still in the mix. And there's a couple of other names in there too, but those are the ones that stand out to me as like, okay, you got to watch out for these guys. And maybe some of them haven't had the greatest of showings lately or whatever, but Top Ramen coming in from the top rope, having no experience of the project initially, and already saying people like Hapsea saying you're going to be really good. And
yeah, he's very good, man.
Yeah,
I have played him. He's very good. If he qualifies, that would be amazing, but he has stiff competition. It's going to be very tough for a new player, even one with strong mechanics, to come through the gauntlet, though, because these have been very cutthroat. We saw it just there. Jakulangski's going like 7 pool and making an overlap, putting a K-Red in your base. Like,
I know.
Imagine it's your first day of Cosmology, and that happens to you. You're like, what the fuck? How do I deal with this?
Well, it's like what happened to Keen when in Ozlix, who's not known as like the highest of skilled players, right? He like Nath rushed Keen out of the tournament, or not out of it,
nice.
But like he got a win against him in groups and stuff. And it was dicey, but it worked. And that's like, okay, Keen is supposedly like this really good A-rank player or whatever, like sure, good. And then he comes in and he gets completely knowledge checked again and again. So that can happen, yeah. So, hey, I think it was an exciting tournament. Glad to see it. Glad to see that we still have 2 more spots to fill out from the second gauntlet, which is now running. So we'll see you guys for those 2 qualification series. I'm sure Neblime and I will be able to cast those for you. And, just stay tuned on Discord if you're curious about how that particular bracket is playing out. GG, boys. You got any final words for us, sir?
I guess this is my motto now. Don't nerf Wraiths. I keep saying that until they get nerfed, then I'll complain.
Okay, gotcha. All right. GG, boys. I'll nerf Wraiths.